Hey, how are you? Okay, I'm gonna work backward here. Laura Layla. Laura Layla. I can't, I'm sorry. Laura Layla, on her channel, The Final Taboo, posted a video about assisted suicide. That is, and I'm working backward, that is a monumental ask. How do you make the decision on who to ask? Okay, so I've thrown that out there. Then I'm thinking, as I've mentioned before, can you ask a physician to help you do this? Can you help a physician? Can you help a physician? Can you ask a physician to help you do this? But then I flashed. Drew, remember, hospitals have a vested interest in keeping their beds full. Physicians have a vested interest in prolonging their patient's life, for good or ill, because of money. So then I started thinking, okay, wait a minute. There's a physician for everything. For everything. So, we're going to have to throw in the government, because there has to be some type of regulatory board to regulate assisted suicide. Because one would not want to. My fear would be that someone's brewing something up in their bathtub and they give that to me and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Now keep in mind, I have in my living will, this is hypothetical, I have in my living will stated that if every known course of treatment has been tried and exhausted and there is no room for improvement, I wish to no longer be not only a financial burden, but also an emotional burden to my family and friends. As a result, now I'm completely clear, pain-free, know who the president is, what year it is, of sound mind. Not body, because I'm dying, but of sound mind. And I clearly outline, if these things happen and I have been diagnosed, I have been told, my friends and family have been told, I'm sorry, Drew only has 6 weeks, maybe 3 months to live, and it's only going to get worse. He's going to lose his cognitive functions. His autonomic functions are just gonna fail. We'll have to keep him breathing on a respirator. We're gonna catheterize him. We're gonna stick a tube down his throat or wherever they stick it to feed you. Oh my God, well at least he'll still be alive. But am I alive? Yeah, physically the heart's beating, neurons are firing, whatever, blah blah blah. But am I living? Because, yeah, we seem to hold this thing we call life most important above all, but is that living? So, I digress. Let's get back on track, Drew. So, am I able to, in my living will, make those stipulations? And if I do, say that this is accepted, who will do it? Because I can't ask Michelle to do it. I can't ask David to do it. Goddess knows I can't ask my mother. I can't ask my brother. Can't ask my sister-in-law. Who can I ask? I have to rely upon a physician or a sympathetic party. But then I have to think about, okay, we'll say Michelle to do this. We'll say David. We'll ask him. We'll ask someone to do this. They have to live with that forever. So, why can't we? What the goddess's name? Oh, a jet. Oh my! I felt that in my chest. We have to have some type of regulation, unfortunately. So who am I going to ask? I can't ask my friends. I can't ask a loved one. Because they're going to have to live with that forever. And I would not want that on their conscience. conscience. So we have to find that physician or that physician's assistant or a Dr. Kevorkian to administer whatever it is one administers to end your biological functions. All right. So how do we know? How do we know that you really want this? Well, again, we could say today, no, at least as long as I know it, I'm not dying. I can walk into my attorney's office and say, hey, well, this is what I want done. I need you to research the legality of it. If it can be done, blah, 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 blah. Only when we are truly allowed to run our lives without governmental and societal pressures, mores, involvement, will assisted suicide become more than that little dirty topic that we discussed. Because keep in mind, and I don't know why, yes I do, because the goddess speaks to me when in those odd moments. I was thinking of back alley abortions and how before Roe versus Wade we had women dying from such procedures, and I am curious to find out how many people have suffered because of botched attempts at assisted suicide. And maybe this is going on a completely different vein. It is. Just like we are allowed to choose how we live, I believe that we should be allowed to choose how we die. If, again, all measures have been taken and man's medicine has not worked, because the body's going to do what the body's going to do regardless of the machines and the chemicals, that we should be allowed to choose when we go. And if it means having some type of legal document in place to protect either a friend or a family member from legal prosecution, we should do that. For some odd reason, I am flashing on the Hippocratic Oath, and if I am not mistaken, it starts out first: do no harm, do ye no harm. A true physician, in my opinion, my belief, a true physician would take that to heart and see that this patient, I am harming him by keeping him alive against his wishes. You know how it goes, my lady. I hope I was able to add another spoke to this wheel. Thank you. Take care. Have a good evening. Ciao, ciao.